So we're going to fill this up with 3.5, and then we're going to get on installing the actual flush kit. Okay, so now we filled it up with transmission fluid, 3.5 liters. We're going to check it, and it's just right on the top dot here. We're not too worried about it. We just want to make sure it's full. Put the disc tip back in. Now we need to install our flush kit. So let's zoom in here and I'll show you what needs to be done. Okay, you need a 10mm regular wrench. When dealing with battery, we need to take negative off first, then positive. So we're just gonna pop this off here. The reason why you're taking the battery off is we need to take the battery out. We need to take the battery plate out to get on an angle to the transmission cooler lines. There's no other way around it. There's just too many hoses here, and this is the best way to get in the angle. This is just for my, let's put this on here. This is the battery caps. Oops, there we go. Take the positive, same wrench, 10mm. You always want to disconnect the battery in this way and connect it the reverse. So when you take negative off, then positive, then negative to put back on. The reason why you don't want to get any spark. Okay, down here. I don't know if you guys can see that. There you go. There's a bolt right there. Take that bolt off. I'm guessing that's 10mm, but I'm gonna have to double check. So I'm gonna go get a ratchet. That bolt's gotta come off, and then this battery just can come right down. So you're gonna need a 10-inch extension, a 12mm bolt. Just put in there. I already showed you where it was. Just the plate and the bolt holds the battery in. Put that down there so I don't lose it. Okay. Now this battery has 2 compartments. Let's show you right there. So you gotta be careful when you lift it. You don't tilt it; it'll spill out. So just a little warning there. Here you want to just push your negative cable over here. Take the battery sleeve off first, and then it gives you easy access to safely lift the battery out. Here you go. Bolt here, bolt here, bolt here, and a bolt here. There's 4 bolts, and I believe they're the same 12mm. Yep, 12mm. Okay. And then you're going to take this bolt off here. This is a 10mm. Just like that. And then, oh, actually I'm going to put it in my tray. I don't want to lose my bolts here, so. As you see right here, got my tray of bolts. My magnetic tray. Always keep your bolts together so you don't lose them. Okay. There you go. So that's it for that. Now we can take away the battery tray, and it just slips out just like this. Now we're not going to disconnect these lines here. Leave them connected. There you go. So now we can get in through this port right here, our pliers, and disconnect the transmission cooler line that goes, let's see, out. The one that goes in. We need to disconnect the in line of the transmission line, and then we're going to connect our adapter and put in that measuring bucket. And the reason why we do that is you don't want to be disconnecting the transmission cooler lines by the radiator, because they're all rusted down there, those clips, and you risk breaking the plastic on the radiator, and those are metal in the transmission, so you want to deal up at the top here. It's a lot easier. And unfortunately, once we get the line connected, we're going to have to put the battery tray back in, the battery in, just temporarily, and then we're going to run the line out, around, and over the side of the car to the front. I have 10 feet of cable, or of hose, And I believe as covered in the previous video, this thing here with the hose. So we're gonna run that down, and that's the exact diameter of that transmission line. It'll fit in there perfect. So we're gonna do that first. Another thing you're gonna need is, as I covered earlier, or whatever, they look like this. They got the ends on them, and they'll be able to reach down and grab that hose and undo the clip. So those are the tools you're going to need. If you don't have those tools, you're going to need a long pliers to get down there, and you can achieve the same result, but you know, remember, you're dealing in tight spaces here. So let's change the camera angle, get a light in there, and we'll show you where the cooler lines are. Okay, so we're going to show you, I just have the tray, I'm holding it. I'm going to show you right down in there. This is the line you want to disconnect. That one right there, the one I'm pointing to with the pliers, that's your transmission inline. The down next to it is the outline, and they're labeled on the transmission aluminum. They're stamped in and out, so you cannot go wrong. So there's a clip down there which you can barely see on the camera. You need to pinch that clip, push it up, and then pull this hose off. So that's what we're looking at, and let's zoom out so you can see exactly what we're looking at here. There's the battery tray, and there's the cooler lines, access to them. So that's what you're going to want to do, and then once you get the one line off, I'm going to show you how to connect the adapter. Okay, so what we did was we just took our pliers, grabbed the clip, and we used the pinched them together like this, wiggled it up, and pulled that out. So now all we got to do is just, you're going to want to grab your other pliers, the bigger ones, the ones like this, and it'll reach down and support the hose as you pull it off so you don't break any of the metal. So we're going to run that down there like that, put it over the hose, run it down to the base. I don't know if you can see that. Just like that. And we're going to pull that hose off. I don't know if my hands are in the way, but anyway. There's the clamp right there around the base of the hose, and we're going to pull it off gently. Okay, as you see here, we're just going to connect the positive terminal, and just take your time, and then we're going to just connect the negative terminal. I just have those little battery caps on there to keep the terminals protected. Don't forget to remove those caps from the engine before you start it. So we're just going to tighten those, make sure they're secure. The battery's just in there nice and loose. So, and then once we're done that, we're going to take our jug and we're going to run it all the way over to the car with our 10 feet of hose. And that jug was, I created that in that video there on the custom tool section, the flush kit adapter. And now as you see, we start the car and we're going to run the vehicle until 2 liters comes out. Then we're going to shut it off. And you can see how dirty that fluid is right there in the jug. And you're going to use a clamp to hold so the hose doesn't come out. And you're going to use a clamp on the engine because you don't want to have the radiator get anywhere near the flush kit hose. So we want to keep it all isolated. So as you see there, we have 2 liters of dirty transmission fluid. And remember, there's 3.5 liters that came out of the pan. So we're going to want to make sure that the no more than 2 liters comes out at a given time. And how we control that is by starting the vehicle, running it until it comes up to 2 liters, and then shut the vehicle off. And we're just going to repeat this procedure, and don't forget to top off 2 more liters, which I'm doing right now at the front of the car. And then I'm going to come back, dump this jug, and then fill it back up with 2 more liters, and repeat this over and over again until that transmission line starts to flow clear fluid through it. And then that'll flush the whole transmission, the old fluid out of the torque converter and the cooler. Second here, and then run it again. There we go. Once that gets to 2 liters, I'm going to shut it off again. Okay. And then we're going to dump it. Now the transmission fluid is now starting to come clear. So I think two more liters, and this should be pretty much done. I can already see it starting to clear through the line. So we're going to go fill it up again. 2 liters, come back, dump this, and then we'll go do 2 more liters. And we'll see where we're at. Okay, so before I forgot to mention this, that little clamp right there, and the yellow clamp with the lens, you're only going to want to put in 1 tip into the transmission line and use the existing clamp to pinch down to hold that line in. Make sure you use clamps too. And work it around the radiator so you don't get the hoses caught anywhere. So it's very important that's has a clamp on there. Don't push it too far in that line. You'll never get that adapter out. Okay, so now we need to start the vehicle and run the shifter through all the gears for 3 to 5 minutes to ensure all the transmission fluid reaches all the gears of the transmission. Okay guys, here's the dipstick. When you first start off, make sure the car's in neutral, emergency brake's on. You're going to want to check it and have the fluid between this level here when you first start the car, and then it's going to go up to this level after 20 minutes when the fluid gets hot. And you always want to check it in neutral. It's important when you check the levels, because the transmission fluid will expand as it increases in temperature. So what we're going to do is, if you overfill it, you're going to look at the next diagram. This is the brake bleeder kit I made on my website. You're going to insert it into the filler neck and pump the fluid out into the jar, and this will successfully bring the levels back to where you need them to be. It's important that you have the right level of fluid in your transmission. So thank you for watching Jack of All Trades. Please subscribe, leave a comment, and look for more videos to come in the future.